Good evening, traders. MR Strategies on the 12th of January, just a really brief update in terms of the performance since we've established that hard low last week. And as usual, the daily MAs continue to tell the big picture. And I emphasize this since day one in each and every one of my videos. As a trader, you have to pay attention to the big picture and what is price going to do when we start breaking out of the range and you get into extreme locations. And what has been the case for the last 2 years is amazingly how well price has held up from these locations. And you can just see we just won't even get near the 100. You can see the 100 started at the end of this is actually December. We made that 44, let's just call it 4,500 low, just above the 100 daily, and then we came down one more time just above it, and you can see we continue to. This is a trend line you're going to want to probably pay close attention to, and you can just see it came right back down to it on late last week, and it just ran away from it, and it just continues to be super significant in terms of understanding these locations and take advantage of them. The bulls are holding on, and these are the extended areas that are proving to all traders that this is where they're putting a foot down in the sand and saying that's it. And yet again, just look at these run-ups once they tap these locations. I mean, they're extreme. So what you did is you basically ran straight back to the 50 and you got above the 50. And today's trade was all about the 9 and the 18, which is converging right here around. It's a little higher now. And it's actually ripping down. It's around 12.13, and I'm showing you this box right here. This is your intraday trading session today, and you can just see this whole area how they tried to breach it twice with two lows of 45.95. I don't know. I don't know if those are overnight lows, but point being is they're holding on to these daily MAs, and that's fairly significant. And you can see we're possibly looking at another breakout back above here, possible a challenge maybe of the highs. I don't know. See right here, I got this trend line right here running here on this chart. This is coming off the 45.70 low. This is your super trend coming off that low. That's usually how I run these trend lines. Find the first hard extreme low and see whether or not we continue to hold those bottoms. And as you can see right here, it's coming in around 4,700. I got to believe overnight they're going to breach it. So pay really close attention to it. I mean, any really hard breakdown, this is the number you got to pay attention to is S2. If in fact you get a hard sell off, I am not sure, and that's you're at your 50 MA. So those are the areas you want to pay attention to. If the market gets out of control and it sells off, most likely it'll hold the 50. Right now, it's whether or not they can take off from the 9 and the 18 and kick in to get another run up to the highs, to the contract highs. I'll quickly show you the other charts as well to see how this all played out. And you can see the NASDAQ really pushed the envelope. They almost got to their 200. But don't forget, the NASDAQ's a little thinner, and they move a little faster and quicker, and they'll rip through areas a lot harder. And you can see the Dow. The Dow didn't give much of a breakdown. It challenged the 50, but it held the 50. It didn't get anywhere near the 100. This is the big number I thought we were going to come to. I thought around 35,000, and that is your. In fact, I got to believe that's the. Oops. Well, we'll get back to that. I think that's your 200. So we'll hold off on that. There you got the 9, your 18, your 50, 100. That's the 200. That's why I got the white trend line. Those are usually the big areas that would probably break the camel's back. But until we really get underneath the 100s in every market, all it keeps doing is just kicking in back into a bull trend accelerated phase, and that's what you're seeing right here. I mean, you basically had a correction, a bull trend correction, but as long as we hold 4,500, we're going to remain in that bull trend, and all it's going to do is it's going to find value seekers, and they're going to jump all over it and push it back up. So let's see what they find at these levels. I just don't know. But this is a quick update. This is how you pay attention, guys. Pay attention to these moving averages. They tell you so much during the day. Even if you look at your intraday trading, and these are just your 9 and 18 off of this chart, off a 15-minute chart, and just look at how price just continues to hover around these moving averages. They dictate. They tell you how they're looking at this area and what what it says about price and whether or not it's going to hold and rally and push price higher. And you can just see that as long as they maintain above these moving averages, the price should accelerate. And you can see every time they breach, they try to push it. But if you watch today's session, you would have noticed how hard it struggles around this 47.10 when it looked like it was going to roll over. It just would not. So I think that was a really strong sign of bullishness. And you know what? You got to roll into it. You're back in a bull trend extreme, and you want to play for the opportunity to get to the upside. So, you got your pivot tomorrow sitting at 47.18. We are below it right now. I prefer a little bit of a sell off. I would look for a nice triple bottom down here around S1. You got these two lows right here. And of course, if this thing gets out of whack, this is a key. This is the power number. But I just don't see this happening. They wouldn't have run them up this hard off the 100 if they weren't thinking about maybe pushing this thing for another contract high. And you know what? Like I said, here's all your other markets. They're all doing the same thing. In fact, the Nasdaq still needs some work to do, but the Nasdaq can make up ground really fast. This is a real steep line right here, so I don't know how that's going to play. And look at oil. Oil just exploded, and I haven't really been paying much attention to that. So, you know, you can just see the markets are all following a similar pattern. So, this is the playbook, MR strategies. Always feel free to reach out, and you know what? Bring your best game. I'm here to help out, guys. Have a great night.